Bright suns and rising moons, fellow droids. Welcome to Not the Droids podcast. I'm Danny.
And I'm Mayuri, and today we
We're
are
back.
back with Young Jedi Adventures. The second part of season 2 dropped, and we're going to be kind of going over the first episode titled Unmasked, which I think is what I've just been waiting for.
Yes.
What date did it drop?
This whole season dropped on March 19th, 2024. So this is airing a lot later, but
2025.
we are watching this the week it dropped because we were literally like, we are so excited we couldn't wait to watch them.
I know. I was just like, listen, I was laughing because I was like, this thing dropped like 5 days ago. And for the podcast, was like, oh, let me update the titles in our episode watch spreadsheet that we keep track of. And the second I was like, episode 1, Unmasked. And I was just like, yes, I
The
need to watch this episode. I cannot believe that this little kid show, I'm so invested. I'm
We're
so
so
invested.
invested. And then, so our initial plan is like, we came up with this plan. We're like, we're going to start covering 3 episodes for an episode. And then we saw this episode. We're like, we can't do a
There's
section
so
of
many things.
because this episode, episode 12, is the full one. It's one episode. It's not split. So we're gonna just cover this whole episode and then go back to our regular schedule and we'll figure it out because the last episode is also one episode. So we're gonna have to figure out our schedule, but it'll be posted somewhere.
Yeah, so if we think about where we left at the end of the first part of the season, Salak and the Ganguls have claimed ownership of Yarum Tower. They are the king, she's like the queen of the pirates. I feel like she's on her
Yeah.
throne. They're all
They're
they're doing a
taxing all the other
tithe.
pirates, being like, bring us shiny things.
Okay, I just want to take a moment that you were like, yes, they're taxing. I was like, is this a tithe? And I'm just like,
Yeah,
I'm so in Akatar brain. I was like, yes, it's like a tithe. Like they're paying their respects and gifts and stuff.
I don't think they're paying their
Um,
respects. I think they're being taxed.
no,
I don't think they
they're
want
being
their
taxed.
treasure to just give to her.
That's
Because,
true.
well, we'll get there. But there's a later point where Tabor shows up and she's like, we've been waiting for you. You owe us. Like, where's our stuff?
This is your bill. Where
Like,
is your stuff?
here's your invoice. You haven't shown up. We know you're a pirate. But
Well, it's just
before we
like
get there,
if you want to call yourself a pirate in this sector, you work for us.
yes.
So yeah, so Salak and Tota Joe and Speeds are just like living the life, holding court,
Judging
and
what a set of pirates
I
brings,
know.
they're like, what is this? This is
What is
nothing.
this? And so the Comet Runners is the other, I would say, competent pirates,
Yes, we've seen them
right?
a little, but we haven't super interacted with them.
But the last time outside of the pirate takeover we saw them, I think it was on Cyrus's planet when they were causing mayhem and they got run out of town.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So the fact
Which
that
is
they
why their offering isn't gold. It's a map.
so that's where I'm just like, did they steal that map when they were there, or they created it from when they were there? And that's where I was just like, oh, I see where we're going. Because obviously the title is Unmasked, so we know.
Map of Bundal, which immediately I was like, Cyrus's planet.
So that's where I'm just like, oh no. So Salak is taking the whole crew to Cyrus's planet to steal their crown jewels. And we already know that Cyrus's parents could care less about the people of that planet. They are pretty
They can also care less about their own child. So we're gonna get here because we're gonna talk about what Cyrus is up to right now. But they get an alert that the pirates are coming, and Cyrus's parents fled without him.
they
He
were just
just
like to
left
the
them
droid
in the basement with his little Jedi
friends.
friends, being like, "Peace, we're out."
So
I'm
that's where
surprised they didn't take the crown jewels with them.
I was just like, what? They were like, your parents. Okay, so we'll get there, but I did not expect the unmasking to happen so early in the episode. So, Cyrus is training the young Jedi are so cute. They're training Cyrus so that he can help defend his planet. Since the pirates came, I think maybe he was just like, hey, like I want to, and we've seen him sparring with them before. We saw them sparring in the shorts.
We know he can
Um,
already fight. Like we know he has
yeah,
skills, and in some points has better skills than some of the Jedi. Young Jedi.
yeah,
Young
the young
Jedi.
Jedi. So that's where it's like it's kind of cool to see them helping him. And
Well, and
there's a
then him and
moment,
Kai are even like creating moves together.
yeah, but there is a moment where Kai is like, "Oh, it's so great." He's like, "I love training with you. I got to keep up with you."
Yeah.
And there was a little bit of Tabor that came out there,
Mhm.
right? Where but Kai's like, "Oh, you want to defend your planet?" He's like, "Yes, that's why." And I'm like, "Oh, that's Tabor right there."
Yeah.
But that's where it's just like it was so surprising that the right off the bat they were like Kai is looking for something, opens the locker and was like, "That's my training saber. That's Tabor's helmet." And I love the critical thinking skills here, where he was just like, "What does Cyrus
And you just see like the
these things?"
trust leap because before this happens, you see like
Best of
they're
friends,
besties.
trust each
Kai
other.
and Cyrus are besties. Like listen, Nubs are besties. Kai and Cyrus are the besties here. So
You just
he's
like
like,
see the wool come up, and I'm
yeah.
just like, he
And
was
he's like connecting
so
everything, and you see him like then talking to Cyrus and the Tabor mask coming on and off of him. And then our droid comes in and is like, pirates are coming, we must evacuate.
but that's where it's just like this episode, I think, is the first time I have not cursed Kai out.
Oh my God. I just want to give Kai a hug
I
after.
just wanted to give him a hug. And the thing, the fact that he doesn't out Cyrus from the get go to listen
Well, I think he's
Nubs.
like also processing and he's also going, we can deal with this, but we do need to help the people of this planet. Like he's like,
Yeah,
we
like this is
first, our job is to help. Pirates are coming. I can't say because Cyrus is Tabor, we can't help his people.
exactly. And so like Salak comes obviously to steal the things, and they do the things, it's fine. The fact that like Kai and Tabor, I mean Kai and Cyrus are fighting so hard. And the reason that they don't get it is because like Kai is struggling with the trust because he's like, I can't trust him anymore. He's been lying the whole time we've known him.
I also want to discuss Cyrus did not call Ford and his crew to come
No,
help.
he didn't. Well, so here's the thing. I don't know where they are.
I don't
I
know
wonder
where
if
they
they were too
are.
far.
We see them in
Is
the end, but it was just one of those things where I'm like, oh, his crew's not here. So that was just like very curious. But yeah, they are struggling because they made a plan. Kai and Cyrus each take one droid, but then Kai sees like Cyrus in another area. He's like, what is he doing? And he like confronts him. He's like, I thought you were getting the droid. He's like, he's literally there in a crumble on the ground.
yeah, like I obviously did what I was supposed to do. But like I also
Can we also give props to Kai and his thought process of moving the plant to distract the droid, to get the droid? Like, he's really thinking about how to do this without gaining attention.
yeah,
I
they're
just wanted to give him
finally
some props because we don't always give Kai his
well, so
props.
we
And
don't give Kai his props ever.
yeah,
But
so I'm giving him his props now.
but that's where I'm just like, are we finally seeing growth in Kai and his critical thinking
Yes.
skills, right? Like he didn't out Tabor right away because it wasn't what needed to be done at that moment. He's still figuring it out. He's actually being stealthy. They're actually thinking through things, right? So I just it's just hard. It was just heartbreaking this whole first part of the episode when he realizes, and then he doesn't tell his friends because he doesn't want them to like not want to work with Cyrus or whatever. The fact that the Comet Runners came to distract the Jedi was actually a good move. Like they brought both pirate crews, one to
They
attack
brought
the
the whole ship.
village.
They brought like everything.
They brought
Our
everything.
pirates
And
are actually
so
kind of thinking through some game plan now. So it separates our kids, and Kai and Cyrus are together.
then
So
they get locked in the vault.
can we talk about this epic move from Kai? Also, in honor of it, did you see what I did here?
Yeah.
They
His
matched Kai's
double his
sabers. That
lightsabers.
I'm sorry, that animation there of Kai with both his sabers up and just like looking at it was just so good. I was like, way to go, Kai, way to go, animators, because it was a gorgeous scene of just him.
Yeah. He's like, I see you. But like their argument when Kai tells Cyrus
Mhm.
that he knows. And like did you see like Cyrus thought about denying it?
Yes.
I feel like. But it was just like
It's too there's he couldn't. So and then we go back to our favorite line. Just because you've done bad things doesn't mean you can't choose to do good. And Cyrus comes back with, why does it have to be one or the other?
which is true.
Which is true, but Kai gives him an ultimatum, which is where our friendship cracks completely. Because Kai is like, no, you can't be both. I can be friends
Uh,
with Cyrus or enemies of Tabor. There's
but
no
there's no in between. So
so
that's
and then they're rescued. Door opens. So what were you
the
gonna say?
rescue. But no, I was just gonna say because like on Cyrus's side, he really truly thought that even like it had no bearing on their
Yeah.
friendship.
Yeah, he doesn't see it as one or the other. He sees it as all him, whereas Kai sees them as two people. And I think that's the hard part is he's like, well, because you're Tabor, I can't be friends with you.
Yeah, because like all of the stuff that Tabor has done and said and all of that, like I think it's just like the processing period, or like marrying that they're two people is hard because like he has to look and be like, well, there's always been good qualities in Tabor. And Cyrus is kind of
Cyrus has been learning
snarky.
once he realized he could do things not like his parents.
Exactly. And so it's just like they're becoming the same person to him. But I kind of, in this moment, I'm usually all about the gray. I kind of agree with Kai here because it's like, I don't understand how you thought you could be enemies with us and in the same breath be
Yeah.
like, but that we're friends, our friendship is separate.
Yeah, I understand that part, but the ultimatum is what got me. I was just like, hi, you need to work through this and not because then now we have Cyrus running off to save his
By
family
himself.
by himself without any help. And our voice of reason, we love Liz, our little Ravenclaw Jedi, who was like, we still have to help him. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter what he's done. Our job is to help people, and he's our friend, even if he is also our enemy. Like, we can't leave him by himself, go after this huge group of pirates.
Yeah, it's dangerous for him, which I am surprised that he unmasked himself to the pirates.
Yeah, that one, I was just like, it was an epic unmasking where they're
Oh
like, why would
yeah.
we listen to you? He's like, because they're mine.
Because they're mine. And I was like, girl, like, what? That's so dangerous. You just told that whole group of
All
pirates
the
that,
pirates know
hey,
you're, but also like the pirates are now like shocked. They're like, him? He is that little snotty prince?
respect there. But also
Respect for Tabor.
it's like I feel like they also start getting the attitude that like, when like people who have money start
Mhm.
playing at like a hardship and you're like, but we don't have the same hardships because at the end of the day, you get to go home to here.
But I don't know if being pirates technically like a hardship.
Well, I think they
It's just,
struggle in the
yeah.
galaxy. Like that's
But
why they're
they also have that like
pirates.
they're like he's still a kid. Like they didn't know Tabor was a kid. Like they're like
No, I feel like I've always known Tabor was a
they've always
kid.
done that, but they still react like, oh, you're a prince kid. Like
I've just the whole pirate unmasking threw me because I did not expect that at all.
and then they're
I
like,
didn't.
you don't have your Jedi friends.
Oh my god, the moment where they were like, there, I thought it was so sweet.
It was very
Like
sweet.
they didn't get away, and but the moment like they fought together, whatever, they were never gonna get away. There's too many pirates at Yaran.
They're over outnumbered. And the thing is, and they say it, is that Kai wasn't there for the treasure. He was
No,
there
he
for
was there for
Cyrus,
Cyrus.
not Tabor, for Cyrus. He's like, we're not here to get the treasure back. We're here to help our friend.
Yeah, 100%. And so that's where I'm just kind of like that moment at the end where it's so reminiscent of so many Star Wars things where Kai has his hand out
Kai has
and
the high
he's
ground. Literally. That's all I can think about. Because he's like reaching his hand down from the ship, and we've seen so many scenes. It's very reminiscent of a lot of the movies where they're like trying to help someone. They're truly
yeah, so
trying to
that's
help. They
why it's
believe
just
in this
like
person,
and
and it's
that
like
person
it's the Obi-Wan Anakin moment of Anakin like turning his back on. And now I
Obi-Wan.
don't believe Tabor's going to go the way of Anakin, but I can't
No,
make any promises.
that's too far.
And the music,
Oh,
the
I didn't
music
even.
this episode was epic.
So stressful.
And then my next comment just says, "Am I crying at a kids show?"
Oh my God, I was. Well,
I'm
so
not a
first of
crier.
all,
I'm not an emotional person. Paula's gonna hate me because she like bawled at the movie If and it didn't affect me at all. This show, I was
this
like, oh my God,
show,
I'm tearing up.
I teared up at the end, right? Because, like, so Tabor, first of all, love Tabor just jumps right off the tower. Like, no, thank you. Boom. I was like, nice mic drop moment, right? So he escapes. The Jedi escape, which, first of all, I always forget that these are children getting shot at by adults.
Quick little callback to when they first showed up because I love this moment where Nash is just having fun with RJ and we're like, just want to
Wait,
call back to that because
wait,
Nash
I
is just
actually
having
do
a
want to talk
blast.
about that for a second. When did the Firehawk get blasters?
I feel like the Firehawk would have always had blasters because they are in space carrying cargo, so there's danger. But we've never had a reason to have to use said blasters.
Oh yeah, when she came in, like pew pew the tower, I was like,
And you
get
you
it,
could tell she's
girl.
like finally got to use these buttons. You could tell like she's like
Yeah.
it's like when your parents are like don't touch that button. Don't touch the button. She's like I have a reason.
Yes. So they are getting shot at the Firehawk. They're leaving. They're essentially the distraction that Cyrus needs to leave as well. And they go back home. And it's funny because, like, I always remember that all of this happens without the knowledge
Without
of
any
the
adults.
adults.
Yes. And so
As far
Master
as
Z is waiting and
Liz and
which
Nubs are like,
Padawan?
guess what
Wait,
happened?
which Padawan was waiting?
Wes.
Wes.
It was
I'm like,
Wes.
yeah. I could see his face. I'm like, what is his name? Because he's the one I don't like, so his name hasn't clicked.
So
Bad.
Wes is there. I do love where like Liz and Nubs just come off like rockets, and they're like, "Oh my God, did
And
you?"
Nash, but if you because I had subtitles on Nash was like, and
Oh
then we
yeah,
did it,
Nash.
and RG and I were like, pew, pew, pew. Master Zia look back.
And she has that moment, right, where she
Kai is
realizes that like
crestfallen. Kai is just like dejected. She comes over and he holds up his training saber.
that whole scene was actually kind of heartbreaking because it's just like it's the moment where Kai realizes that helping doesn't actually work all the time.
Yes.
That we went to help him and he still didn't choose us. He didn't, and I don't think it's in us. I think it's in me.
Yeah.
He didn't
Well,
choose me. I chose him, but he didn't choose me. And I don't understand why.
yeah, and this
And
I
watching,
have the wording that they use. It says to Master Zia is I know I did the right thing by helping him, but I feel so bad. Jedi are supposed to help the light find the light in themselves. What happens if someone doesn't want to find it? My heart broke.
I know. I was just like, he was so
Learning adult
sad.
lessons. These aren't just like the little lessons of like be a team. This is like a hard life lesson of
Oh
you
my God,
can't
you're crying
help
again.
everyone.
And people don't want to be held. We're both crying a little bit. It's just like the and Master Sia is there. It's like their first heartache as a Jedi, right? Like, and she's just like she doesn't have any words for him, right? Like she
This is
just
the hardest lesson for a Jedi to learn.
and she just gives him a hug. And I don't think we've ever ended an episode not on an up. This is
Yeah.
the first time like Kai is just crying at the end of this episode.
Yeah. And so then we have like these scenes, we're overviewing these scenes because we go back to Cyrus, and this is what Master Zia is saying is that even when we guide people towards the light, towards good, they still have to make their own choices. And this is when we first see Cyrus and he's meeting up with Cord and he reveals who they are. And Cord
Oh my
just
God, that scene was so cute.
and like
Where
he's
he
still
thought that they
accepted
were
by
gonna
his friends no matter what. And they're really like you could tell they're like, we finally see your face. Like, thank
yeah,
you.
like you could see EB being like, whoa, but like, and then he thinks they're rejecting him, and then Port is like, actually, no,
Like we see your face. This is you. And then Master
like,
Z
thank you.
continues, even if those choices end up being bad, all we can hope is one day they choose good and we will be there to help them.
Yeah, that's so sad.
Okay, sweet. And it's just like That's like I don't know where to go from there. Is that like, yeah, but when our friends need us, even if they choose something else?
So that's where it's just like, I think this is the first time that this show has had such an emotional storyline.
Yeah.
Like it's always been very surface level. This whole thing was going to be emotional, right? Like them finally figuring out that Cyrus has been lying to them. And then like we've seen that Cyrus has a hard time separating his friendship with them even when he's Tabor, right? So I just Cyrus is hurting. Like I actually think it's funny that like his parents abandoned him and nobody cares.
Yeah.
Nobody
But I
cares.
think they're
But
just used to it. Like they're like, this is,
no, but that's what I mean. Like the thing
yeah,
that actually emotionally impacts him is the fact that like
best friend.
Kai,
Yeah.
yeah. So I know. I just like there's what a great start to the second.
Mhm.
I'm glad that they didn't leave it till the end because I think I said it before. They have been dragging this reveal for so long, and the fact that it's just like such an
Right there.
emotionally
I also
impacted.
understand why they chose to split the season here,
Oh, it makes so much sense.
but I did not expect for a kids show to get me so emotional.
I'll be real with you. I was like sitting there unopening pin packages because I was like, it's a kid show. Like I'm watching it, but like there's no emotional. I had to stop because I was like, what is happening?
Oh,
And I was just like, honestly, like from top to bottom, if this wasn't a children's show, this storyline would have still hit.
yes.
Like in any show, any whatever, this if they like obviously like the stuff that came before, but like if this kind of reveal and emotional impact was in another show, it would hit. I don't think this storyline is inherently just for children.
Oh no, it is.
And I think that's why I've been so invested in figuring like waiting for them to do it because I'm like, this is a huge life lesson for these Jedi.
Yeah, and like when I thought about like the reveal prior to this, I really thought it was gonna come out in like a battle and moments of like more like anger
Oh,
in
like
a
an
way, like
accident?
fighting and like not in a moment of need and help and like they need to reconcile it to be able to help each other versus just going their separate ways to deal with the
Yeah.
information. Like they still needed each other to get through while having this information.
So that's where I'm just like, I think they did it in such a good way. And I kind of love that it wasn't in the middle of a battle or
Yes,
something.
I like the way they approached it.
I love that Kai just like very
I'll be thinking about this one for a
quietly.
while. Like,
Yeah, I'm still thinking about it because I was just like, oh, like Cyrus didn't think Kai would ever find out. So he's like, yeah, can you look for this thing? His locker is not locked, like nothing. And I don't know. It was just like so wild. So I am very hopeful and excited for the rest of the season because if this is how they're starting it out, I'm just like, I hope they don't just like completely upend the like emotional growth here. And
yeah,
so when like I'm very curious to see how long it is before we see Cyrus again.
yes.
So yeah, until next time, we're not the droids you're looking for.
But we're the droids you're gonna get.